Hey everybody, this is Bryan C Dunn, your lazy life coach here, and with Sage Life Solutions and with Coaching in Life, coachinginlife.com. And I'm here today with renowned author and coach Divya Parekh. And thank you, Divya. Divya actually came up with this idea. So first, Divya, thanks for being here. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. And Bryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Are you keeping safe? You staying indoors?
Doing the best we can under the circumstances. And folks, here's the thing, what I really sincerely believe is that I don't know if you guys have heard the lyrics of We Are the World. And I just love that song. So I am sure that you probably believe in the same thing that as I believe, that the lyrics go somehow like this. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one, we are the world. So of course the credit goes to We Are the World. And the reason I proposed this idea to Bryan was that it's time that we all came together for the good of humanity, for helping each other out, and just coming together and showing up, because the way I see it is, when crisis happens, that's when the true character comes through. So yes, we are feeling lost. I don't know about you, but during certain times during the day that I experience a sense of loss, almost being like a little boat with lots of thunderstorms and like strong winds blowing and ocean waves just kind of throwing me here, throwing there. And at the same time, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Divya, something you said there, feeling kind of lost, and you're a coach like I am, and I got to say that one of the biggest frustrations I've been having during this situation is feeling very ineffective. What I naturally do, what I normally do, I'm unable to do. And so I've had a very difficult time with that. But being able to work with you and being able to work with, our cohorts at Cal and, my other friends who are on here, that's right, you too, Casey, that's part of one of the things that has really helped me deal with a lot of these things. And so today, you and I were talking about where the success comes from for the areas of the world that are coping with this successfully. And Taiwan was a big one. And at our last meeting when we were chatting, you explained why Taiwan did so well. And you said it's because they were civically minded. And I thought that was really fascinating. And then you and I kind of talked about sharing that with people, kind of what Taiwan was doing, what that means to be civically active and responsible, and also add a few more coping mechanisms. I thought, one of my frustrations is we get so much misinformation. And when we get information that does not line up with what is happening around us, it causes fear, and that fear leads to panic. So I understand it. And I want to let everybody know who's watching this, it's okay to be afraid. This is a scary thing. It's absolutely okay to be afraid. It's when that fear overcomes and becomes manic and we panic that it becomes a real problem. So, Divya, if you wouldn't mind sharing just a little bit about what you were sharing with me about how kind of Taiwan handled it and civic responsibility. We cannot rely on solely the powers that be to help us get through this. So share your thoughts on that. I thought they were just fascinating.
Absolutely. So what I want to go back to is that feeling of lost, being feeling of loss that, okay, my day has been taken away. And one of the key things, I was speaking with somebody else, and one of the local students, where he mentioned that the university has canceled their graduation. He said that I'm feeling robbed. I'm a senior. And so, folks, one of the things I want to share is that the first step is having that sense of awareness, being conscious about your feelings. So when we talk about civic responsibility, it begins with ourselves. So the first is like knowing, where you are at and recognizing those feelings, acknowledging those feelings, validating them, and not letting them say that, oh, I want to push it under the rug and, make light of it and not be empathetic towards myself. The reason I'm bringing this in depth is because if you're not empathetic towards yourself, you cannot have that empathy for others. So it's important to, yes, you can have humor. It's a great coping mechanism, but one of the first things is recognizing your feelings. And folks, now you will say that, okay, what does it have to do with the civic responsibility? So here's what I'm going to share with you is that I come from a science background, and coming from a neuroscience background, here is the thing, that when you are able to understand your feelings, your awareness goes high. And when your awareness goes high, you're able to deal with your fear. And when you're able to deal with your fear, you're able to understand others, where they are at. You're able to meet them. So when we talk about like, okay, I come from a science background. I love to do research and state facts. So when we look at different countries as to what is it that they have done that has helped them mitigate these situations, because this is crises. And here's the thing, like, I would invite you to ask you that, okay, during these times, what do I want to become? What do I want to experience? So when we talk about that, so Taiwan, going back to Taiwan, is that people exhibited civic responsibilities. And now when you talk about yourself, okay, I have acknowledged my feelings, but what do I want to become in these times? What do I want to experience? Do I want to continue experiencing fear? Or do I want to think about others? For me, folks, whenever
Go.
vote,
Here we go.
our eyes and you look at things, you'll see millions of other boats floating around. And then let's take this.
So it seems like you're breaking up there, Divya. Uh-oh. So I'm going to mute Divya for a second here.
Is doing anything.
Hey, Divya? Okay, so right now, well, we got Cal. Okay, so let's see here. All right. There we go. We got you back.
Yep. So the whole idea is, what is it that you can do? And there are simple things: washing your hands, being mindful that there are people with compromised immune systems. So thinking about them, not gathering together, because I've seen on Instagram people gathering together and saying, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we want to keep a distance. So don't make a mockery out of it. Fine, you may believe that, okay, this is not something to be paid heed to, but numbers speak for themselves, folks. Okay, so I respect your opinion, totally respect your opinion. So maybe, let's look at a unpopular opinion. Oh, this is something that we should not care about. So even if it is there, think about it. There are people who can get sick. So it's not for you, it's not for me, it's for those who may only have few years to live. And what we are doing is we are taking those years from them. And I have to share, I'm going to say a prayer for my friend. I'm going to give her name. She's in UK, 28 years old. And she had a compromised immune system, folks, and she is in ICU. So this is for real. And this is a 28-year-old young girl. So this is here, it's real, folks. And she,
Divya,
yeah.
Divya, what you're saying is right on the money. And, moreover, is that let's say this is nothing. Let's say this is merely a hoax, like they say. I won't say hoax, but let's say that no matter where it's coming from, let me put it this way, no matter where this is coming from, it's here. And it is affecting people. And so we can have conjecture all we want. Oh, the Chinese did this, our government did this. It's irrelevant when it comes to the way that we are handling things. So it's important to grasp that you are responsible for your behavior in the entire context of this. And no, staying at home is not easy, but there are a lot of things that you can do that can still be helpful. There are a lot of places you can go online. If you are healthy, there are ways that you could contribute. And by contribute, I think everybody watching this understands that doing it in a safe way, but being able to help get seniors their food, being able to, there are a lot of organizations you can reach out in your local community to help help those in need. And then when it comes to your personal coping mechanisms, there are a lot of little things that we can do that can really benefit us.
Absolutely.
And the first thing that I always recommend is breathe. Breathe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get so caught up, we forget to breathe. It sounds silly, but we do. And just taking that moment, stopping, taking a deep breath, inhale relaxation, exhale tension, just letting it out 3 or 4 times. It's going to help calm you down, because when we stop breathing, you know as well as I do, Divya, and everybody watching, that we start to ramp up, we start to spin up, and that's not good for anybody. Some other things that may be helpful is minimize what you have to do. Right now, with so many businesses closed, you don't have to run all around town and run a ton of errands. You know, so just kind of filter out all the, all the things that aren't necessary right away, and set a routine for yourself. If you have to stay at home, set a routine, a nice simple routine every day. It's going to get you into a good habit. And that way you're going to feel like, well, you would normally get up and go to work every day. So you follow that routine. Now we just choose a different routine that's going to meet this need. I mean, obviously, Divya, we need to get some exercise, don't we? You know, with a science background, we know that exercise.
Put on some music that you can dance to, and exercise.
Absolutely. Listen to music, good upbeat music. Don't listen to somber, down music. I have friends right now that are watching movies. They watch Outbreak and all those movies like that. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you watching all these contamination movies? Is that UKC? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do with you guys? That's right. But now is also a time to connect, a time to reach out, a time to touch base with those that you love and you care about. And, and that's one of the reasons why Divya and I are doing this, is because we want to make sure that you guys know that you're not alone. Casey, did you have something you wanted to share? You're muted, Casey. There we go.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you guys more. As someone who doesn't come from a science background, but I'm an empath, and everything I deal with in life comes from emotions, and having to figure out, are these my emotions or somebody else's emotions I'm currently dealing with? You couldn't be more accurate about talking about what you're listening to and what you're watching. Everything in life is all about energy, and what you're putting into yourself, you're putting out there into the world. That's why you need to start wearing more bright colors. That's going to pick up your day, put you in a better mood. Just like listening to good music and watching a good comedy on Netflix and watch some good stand-up to get some laugh and get those endorphins going, instead of watching Contagion like you guys were talking. Back to you.
And I'll tell you what, Casey's absolutely right. We get in our own heads and we start to spin, and that's why reaching out, pattern interrupts, watching comedies, watching things that just seem silly and the like, those things are going to help out. I want to recommend you avoid social media posts. Oh my gosh, there's so much misinformation out there. And the social media is so toxic, and people are so vile and mean. And I've got friends that have just crawled inside themselves because of all of the misinformation that is coming through social media. And be aware, another thing that also goes for all the time is evaluate the resources. Evaluate the sources, where they are coming from. And Casey just made a valid point. Opinions are not facts. So find the authority. we got the CDC, we got WHO, there's Johns Hopkins. Find a resource that is a trusted resource. If you don't trust the CDC or WHO, find a medical establishment that you do trust and follow them. Johns Hopkins is a big one right now that's putting out a lot of good information. If you go to their website, that's a good place to go to get information. And probably,
May I add something? Can I add something, Bryan?
absolutely, absolutely, Barrett.
What I wanted to share with a little bit, especially for the forums that we're creating now and people coming together, the ability to cope with. I think a little bit what's even more important than giving people information is right now finding out and giving them a voice to speak what it is that they're feeling, what they're going through, because coping with all the information, not knowing where to look, where to start, that alone can be the starting point of frustration and stress and anxiety. And then on top of that, coping with all the information that you then get. So I think that the ability to help people just relax and, like you said, start by breathing. It's important, lean back, because the better you take care of yourself, the better you take care of your family, the better you support your community, the stronger you are, the faster we get out of all this together. Because right now it's actually the weakest chain that we need to have in order for us to recover from this.
Absolutely. And folks, go ahead.
No, please, Divya.
So folks, I wanted to share some very quick neuro hacks with you. So first of all is sleep is non-negotiable. We are talking about suppressed immune system, less ability to fight the virus. The key is sleep. Sleep really regenerates your whole body. So, okay, like let's say if you're not able to sleep at night, but if you're feeling sleepy during the day, and especially if you're not at work, please sleep. That's really going to help you out. So that's one of the first things. The second thing is write down your thoughts. And when you write down your thoughts, challenge it. Just flip it. So for example, let's say you are having this, oh, what if I catch and this is going to happen? Flip it. What if I'm able to push through this? What if I'm able to stay positive and push through this and not only come out stronger, but be able to help others and create a better world? So challenge your thoughts, put them down on the paper, and that really helps the brain, because what you're doing is you're eliminating the anxiety from the brain. It's not just kind of circulating all the time. You have transferred it to paper and you're challenging it. And one of the key things, folks, there has been a clinical psychology study performed at Michigan State University where speak to yourself in third person. It will really make a difference. So for example, you can say, like, for example, it's a Sean, right? So, hey, Sean, because the way you are feeling, the way you're speaking to yourself, these feelings are arising, these thoughts are arising. So how about if we take a moment, if we take a break, and then we come back to it? So try that, folks, and what we will be doing in the coming weeks. We all, especially like, as Barrett mentioned, join us in the forum where you have your voice and you can speak whatever comes to your mind without worrying who's going to pounce on your post and do a big rant. So we will be bringing you neuro hacks that's going to help you, because the idea is, folks, is to become the crisis leaders. And in these times, let's stand together, let's help each other out. So join us for our next lives and roundtables.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bryan.
Absolutely. And probably before we wrap up here, I just want to tell you guys, probably the number one thing you can do is cut yourself some slack. You're human. I hate to be the one to tell you this on this forum, but you're human. And there's a lot going on. For many of us, this is the first time we've experienced something of this magnitude. And we'll get through this. And also, I want you to understand that this may be a blessing in disguise. This is a time for us to really draw together and be the community that we say we are, to reach out and to share and be supportive of one another. You know, that's why we do this at Coaching in Life. I know that's why Barrett does this. I know that's why Divya does this. I know that's why I do this. And I know that's why KC does his podcast, to reach out and know that you are not alone. You're not alone. We chose to do this to make sure that you understood that. This is just a smattering of some coping skills. We're just kind of throwing a lot at you today. What I encourage you to do is head over to coachinginlife.com. And if you scroll down, you'll see we've got our COVID-19 forum. It's a good, safe place. We don't share your information. We adhere to all of the rules set forth in the European Union for privacy. So everything that you share there is going to stay with you. We don't sell the information. We don't do anything with that. It's a good opportunity to share your thoughts and your feelings. We're also going to be policing for misinformation. So if you want to get on there and cause a ruckus, that's just not going to happen, because we're all about giving you the safest place to be, the place where you can ask questions. And if we don't know, we'll find out to the best of our ability. But we've got a lot of coaches with a lot of experience from all over the world to be able to address your specific questions. And if you want a session with any of the coaches, reach out. Head over there, coachinginlife.com, and I'm going to put the link up in the description here. And we're going to be doing a roundtable, a longer roundtable, probably about an hour and a half, on April 1st. No joke. So if you're afraid, so we're fooling you, we're not. So we're going to do it. We're going to have Divya. I'll be there with Divya and Barrett, who you heard from. She's our CEO of Coaching in Life. We're going to have Sheila Hurd, who wrote a book on, mindset. And so you'll have access to hear her perspective on this. And we may have another person or two, but come and learn some deeper approaches to coping with this, maybe understanding why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And if you want some trauma eradication, come and talk to me. That's what I do. I help deal with anxiety and trauma and getting rid of those things. So everybody that joined us today, thank you. Hey, Stephanie, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Look forward to more information as we go along before we hit on April 1st. And until we meet again, everybody, inhale relaxation, exhale tension, and be well.